Okay, I'm curious to know, and I imagine it varies by semester, by year, but how much time do you spend studying and doing homework as a neuroscience major and maybe with also other minors and majors?
Yeah, it's hard to tell with online classes just because online classes can be either super quick or take double the amount of time because you keep like pausing the lecture and you're like, wait, what was that? But I guess I spend maybe like after all the class time is over, maybe I don't want to say the wrong number, but maybe 5 to 6 hours a week, definitely doing like homework stuff maybe. And then yeah, if there's like tests and midterms and stuff, then that's probably gonna like double. And the weekends are, of course, for all the work that was piled up. But yeah, what do you think, Elise?
Yeah, it's really hard to put a number on it because I think we just roll through life and get done what we need to get done and move on. That's how college works. But I think that what's strange about neuroscience, or it's just any hard science, you're going to have exams. It's kind of like lecture exam format for the majority of your classes. And so the homeworks that you have when it's not the week of an exam are going to be minimal. So it might be 5 to 10 hours a week, but then the week of an exam, you're probably going to be studying for 5 hours for one class. So it depends on the weeks and when your exams are, because sometimes they all tend to pile up in one week and then you're studying for 30 hours a week. So I think it really depends on what week it is and like how your classes have lined up. So
Yeah, and Brooke, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that it's kind of similar to what Elise just said, but being both like a English and neuroscience major, I noticed that English I have readings due every class, right? I have to have read 4 chapters of this book by this class, and then 2 days later I have to have read 4 more chapters. And it's a very like consistent, you can plan it all out, it's very steady. Whereas sciences are 3 tests per semester. That's most of my classes are 3 tests per semester. You have midterms, also a misnomer because you have multiple midterms. But you have the tests and you know when they are, but that makes those weeks really hard. Whereas English is maybe more of a slow burn. So I think if I could go back and talk to my high school self, I would say going into it to like really consider what learning style works best for me. Am I better at one intense week and then 2 just going to lecture weeks, or do I want to be reading every night? And so I think that's important when deciding your major, is thinking about those temporal dynamics of the 2 different major paths.
Yeah, I think that is an important insight for sure. Asks, what is the best way to study for neuroscience exams? And I know everyone has their own learning style, and some people decide to study every day or look over the material every day. Some people may start looking over the material just a week before. So maybe Nish, if you can just speak to how you've approached studying for neuroscience exams and what has worked for you.
Yeah, with any STEM classes, it depends on how your professor does the class. So with my chemistry class, the professor really expected us to have read the chapter before coming to class because he would just go through it and go straight into the problems. And if you don't know what's going on, you're lost. So as soon as you like enter into a class, definitely gotta read the syllabus, see how they structure the class to make sure that you're able to create your own study schedules. And in terms of homework and stuff, I would usually try to get it done the week of the class. So whatever the topic was on, I would try to get that homework done that week because Brooke was saying there's 3 exams a semester or maybe even 4 sometimes. And then you're like, no time to pick up the pace if you need to. So I would just recommend having a study schedule and staying on top of things. Yeah. And then when it comes to midterms and stuff, you just have to like grind during that week. But yeah, that's mostly what I did.